Hello and welcome everyone here. Let's wait some minutes still. Everyone can join us free. I'll wait several minutes, like 3 minutes, 2 minutes, still everyone can join us. Okay, we have today an interesting topic for us, the teachers, how we can enhance the acknowledgement, the learning and study process in our classroom, how we can assess our students. Today, I'll bring you some online applications that we can use for several kinds of assessment that we want to do in our classes. We can use formative assessment, summative assessment. We can use some apps for speaking, for reading, even for writing, and the active participation of our students. Okay, let's wait a few minutes. Perfect. The people are joining us. Thank you and welcome. As I said in the previous minutes, we are learning here, or I'm going to share with you some tips, some online application for improving for enhancing our assessment methods. Okay, first of all, the title, the topic of this webinar, it's enhancing our English as foreign language learning. How we are gonna do this with innovative application for assessment in our classroom. Okay, for this agenda, for this webinar, we have set up some topics, some specific themes that we are going to talk about along this time. Okay, first of all, the introduction. We need to understand what is an assessment in EFL, in English as foreign language. Okay, the definition and purpose of this, how we can define an assessment, the evaluation, the measurement, method. A test is not the same. A test, a quiz, an exam, a measurement test, an evaluation, all of these are synonyms but have their differences. What type of assessment do we have? In teaching, we have the formative and the summative assessment. In the next minutes, we're going to go through it. What else do we have for this webinar? Technological integration in EFL assessment. How we can share, how we can fusion the technology and the assessment in the EFL teaching or the process for learning teaching. In this part, we have the benefits of incorporating some platforms, some online assessment. As you can notice, we are in a technological time. We have to grow up, we have to continue learning about this technological application as a tool instead of a threat for us. What else? We have practical examples of technological enhanced assessment in EFL classes. I'm gonna share you five, 5 applications that I used to use for my assessments in class. Now that we have tablets, we have interactive blackboards, we can use all of this in our classroom. It's not like a selected area. Okay, what else? Let's jump into it. Welcome to the people that is joining us together right now, and let's continue. We have the understanding assessment in EFL. What is assessment? How do we assess a student? We have taken quizzes, we have taken tests, online surveys, and so on. But what is an assess? According to this quotation over here, assessment is the process of gathering and discussing information from various for several sources and activities in order to develop a deep understanding of what a student know. This is very important. We as teacher must take this into everyday classes. Okay, we are looking for our students acknowledge what we are teaching. How we are going to do this? With the correct assessment methods. Okay, understand and can do with their knowledge as a result of their educational experience. Assessment is mm, more for the teachers instead for the students. It's the way that we are sure of what we are teaching. If we teach, for example, a topic, dates, online dating with teenagers, we must have to know how they are learning this topic, if they acknowledge this topic, if they acquire, and if they can use this topic in their everyday life or context. Okay, let's continue. Before jumping into the application, we have for today Socrative, Padlet, we have a puzzle, Mentimeter, and one of my favorite that I recently discovered is Flipgrid. Before that, we are going to have a brief explanation about the kind of assessment, the evaluation, measurement methods, and so on. What's the difference of an assessment and an evaluation? As a teacher, we say, oh, no, yes, we assess our students every day, but we take evaluation. We also take some tests. We also take exams at the end of a period. What are the difference from this and that? Okay, for assessment, it says it's very important. It's ongoing. We can assess during our class. We can assess before starting a class in a warm up, in an introduction, and we can assess at the end of a class even. Okay, it's ongoing. It's positive. It gives feedback to everyone, provides feedback to the students, and even so, the teachers. Is individualized. Yes, we have some assessment that we can do in groups of 3, 4, 5 students, and maybe the way that we can assess them, it's individualized. We as a teacher, we know that one student could be better in reading and the other one it's better in writing or speaking. Okay, we have the same assess for everyone, but also we can grade, we can assess them individualized. Okay, let's jump into the other part. We know what is an assessment and what for what do we use it, and the evaluation part. What is an evaluation? An evaluation provides us as teacher closure. It's like at the end of a unit, at the end of the topic. It's like a retroalimentation, a feedback for what we thought. Okay, is judgmental. Okay, most of the evaluation give an score from 1 to 10, from 1 to 100. It gives one a score. It's judgmental. It doesn't show the potential, the real potential of our student. It's applied against standards. We have a lot of standards in teaching, and it could be modified. An evaluation could modify according to what we are teaching and show shortfalls in what our students and even us are failing. Okay, these are the main difference for assessment and evaluation. Remember, assessment, we can do it all ongoing in the process. We can assess at the beginning, during the class, and at the end. Evaluation is most at the end. Okay, what are the similarities from these two measurement methods? Both requires criteria. Requires criteria. They use measures, and they use evidence driven. Okay, they show us evidence if we are teaching correctly, if the students are understanding us. Both give us these tools. Okay, let's continue. Okay, these are the difference and the similarity that we get in assessment and in evaluation. Let's continue. What do we have over here? We have this whole spectrum for test, for evaluate, for assess, how do we can call them. Okay, let's jump. Let's wait a minute. Okay, wait a minute, please. I have some troubles. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, I have some connection troubles. Let's continue. Okay, let's jump into this. What is a test? All of this is part of the assessment, of the assessment part of EFL teaching, English as foreign language. All of this, we can use tests, we use measurement, we use assessment, and we use evaluation. But what are the difference? What are the definition of this? Why everything is in all of this, and we should separate them in our assessment treatment to our students. First of all, is the test. The test is like it's a specific tool, or we can call them an instrument that we use to measure a particular aspect of a student knowledge, like skills, like abilities. Okay, tests are often designed to assess a predefined set of learning objectives or outcomes. The test, we should use it if we want to assess a specific outcomes. Okay, they can take several forms, such for example, a test could be a multiple choice exam. There's a task, there's an statement, and we have A, B, C, or D. We can also use essays for assess in a test, or practical demonstration, or performance assessment. Okay, that is for tests. Most of the tests are graded. Okay, what's the difference between a test and measurement? What is bigger? Measurements refers to the process of assessing numbers or scores to represent the quantity or quality of a particular attribute of our students. Here in education, measurements involve the systematic and standardized collection of data. Okay, we are looking for with the measurement for the student's performance or achievement. Everything it's clear till now. Measurement can be obtained through various assessment methods. We can use, including tests, we can use observation, and we can use surveys. Measurements, and you can notice, is not graded. With tests, we have multiple choices exam, we have essays, demonstration, performance assessment, and every one of them are graded. But here in measurement, we have surveys, we have observation, we have including tests. The students are free to give their answer. They don't have pressure of what they are answering. Maybe they have a little bit of pressure in their performance, but it's not graded. Okay, let's continue. What else do we have? Measurement. Let's jump to evaluation. Wait a minute, I need to drink some water. Thank you. Let's jump into the assessment part. The evaluation, evaluation is a broader concept that involves the interpretation and judgment of assessment results. Okay, it includes the analysis of the data gathered through measurements to make informed decisions about the student progress. Here in the evaluation, we give feedback, we give inform of the student process. Before the evaluation comes, we have taken a test, we have taken a measurement. Okay, evaluation it often leads to making judgment, such as assignment grades, providing feedback, or implementing changes to improve the learning process. With the evaluation, we have overpassed the measurement part, the test part, and we are reaching some answers for what we are going to use in our future class. Like we can improve our learning process, or learning teaching process, or we can improve our teaching our class. And last one, stay tuned, please. Last one, Marisol Alvarez, thank you, congratulations. Hi, hello. And the last one is definition of assessment. Assessment, as we have learned before, is a comprehensive term that encompasses all the process and tools used to look for information about students' learning and performance. In the previous part, we have taken a test, we have measurement, that we have sharing or giving an evaluation about the student performance, and here we are learning, we are looking for information about that learning and that performance. We can use tests, we can use measurements, we can use evaluation. Okay, the assessment can be formative and summative. In the next slide, I'm going to explain about summative and formative assessment. Okay, it occurs most of the time at the end of a period, summarizing all the learning outcomes. Okay, let's jump into the next slide. Okay, the assessment principles that we have over here. The principles that assessment should or must have to be reliable, to be specific, to be trusty with us, must have all these 5 steps. Okay, the principle, the first one, validity. That ensures that the formative assessment measures that they are intended to measure. A formative assessment is intended to measure. They want to measure the knowledge that they have acquired in the previous classes. Okay, reliability, the consistency and stability of an assessment results. The results that we get from the assessment part, from the previous part, the evaluation, the measurement, the test, that results should give us consistency in all our teaching process. If we don't have a consistency, the student, for example, is learning about a topic, if in the next lesson the student is ready or can use freely that information, it's okay, it's really great. But if the student forgets some things, forgets some parts, cannot is not able to use this information in the next lesson, we have to take a little step backward and let's check our assessment methods. Washback. What is the washback? The impact of the assessment on teaching and learning practice. The washback is if the assessment that we have taken, it's really, really good at getting to the mind of the student and help us to improve our teaching class, it has the correct washback. Next one, the practicality, time, limitation, available resources. This is the implementation. Practicality, the assessment, the principle for the assessment is that it should be practical. It should be easy. It should be easy to understand for the students. If the student have a task or an assignment and a statement that it's so hard to understand, even for teachers, we create the best assessment, the best evaluation. It's very hard. All my students should know this because I taught this in class, but for the students, it's kind of difficult to understand this. It's not so practical and it can come with some difficulties in the future. Let's take this in count. And authenticity, critical thinking, problem solving, and application of the knowledge. These are 3 things that our assessment should have. Authenticity, the critical thinking. We can use multiple choice questions, but they have limitation for the students' outcomes. If we gave A, B, C, or D as an answer, they most of the time can guess the answer. They guess and don't apply the information that they get in the classes. Okay, problem solving, we have to give them something that makes their brain works. They make their brains work. They have to get that grade by problem solving some application. An application of the knowledge, we cannot assess what we have not thought. No, we cannot test, we cannot assess, we cannot give to the student an exam. For example, I have taught about the verb to be, for example, and in the test, I am assessing present progressive. Okay, we have a present progressive have some relation with the verb to be, but I have taught the verb to be only for the personal pronouns. And in present progressive, I am assessing in the test, in the final exam, I'm taking like blank space, fill the gaps question with complete sentence. It's kind of difficult. That is not practical, even for us, for the teachers. Okay, let's continue. Everything is okay till now. Thank you. I am so thankful for all the people that is hearing me, that is connected with us today. Thank you. Okay, let's continue. Types of assessment. Oh my God. We have formative and summative assessment. Okay, the purpose, wait a minute, of the formative assessment is to monitor the student learning and provide ongoing feedback. As I said, the assessment is ongoing. It can be assessed during the class, in the middle of the class, at the beginning, at the end. Okay, it provides ongoing feedback. For example, as the previous example that I gave you before, uh, online datings. For example, I can give to my student, I can ask them this question: what was your worst experience in online dating? Okay, they tell me, my worst experience is when I am 10 years old. Oh no, I must correct them. Your worst experience was when you were, and so on. It's ongoing. It's during that part. It's great. The students are focusing in that moment. They are focused on what you are speaking, what you are telling them. Okay, it is assessment for learning. Formative assessment is assessment for learning. Okay, it gives feedback during the process. This is a great tool. And in the other hand, in the other part, we have the summative assessment. The goal for a summative assessment is to evaluate the student learning at the end of an instructional unit. We can use it by comparing it against some standard or benchmark, and it is almost taken at the end of a period, at the end of a unit, like a final exam or the first term, for example. Okay, summative. Summative is scored. Summative we can use like a final exam. Summative we can use like maybe we can use some rubrics for them, but it have to be according to what the students acquire in the whole unit. Okay, and the principal similarities, they take the student participation and performance into account and assess the effectiveness of the course. The participation, the performance, the learning, and the acknowledgement of the students is taken into account in both for the formative and for a summative assessment. Let's continue. Okay. Woo! These are some tips. If you are, stay tuned over here. Kevin Basket, thanks for the webinar. Thanks to you, Mr. Say hi. Okay, strategies for formative assessment. For a formative assessment, we have like several situations, and I give you these tips, these advices. You can include this into your classes to give more in haste and let them be funnier. For example, the first one is a classroom discussing and questioning. Okay, you give a questions to the whole class and they debate, they discuss about this one. This is not scored, so they are free to give answers like mm, they are not, as they are not scored, they are free of pressure. Engaging the students in classroom discussion and posing through providing questions. Foster interactive learnings, promote activities, participation, collaboration, and the development of communication skills. These seek for the communication skill. If you want to teach, for example, the communicative language learning, if you are using this methodology or this approach, this is perfect for your assessment. You give them a question and let them speak, let them talk, let them make mistakes, let them go wrong. So you can watch, you can assess what they are doing there. Quizzes and polls. Short quizzes and polls provide immediate feedback on students' understanding. Quizzes helps us, the educators, adjust instruction based on a real-time insight into the student's performance, while polls encourage active engagement and self-assessment. Quizzes and polls are my favorite for real-time feedback. If they get running an answer, and they can take this like a game, like a competition, okay? There are several platforms that we can use, for example, Quizzes, Kahoot, Nearpod, and so on, for giving quizzes and polls in real-time situation, in real-time context in our classes. What another tip that I gave to you for us giving a correct a better formative assessment is peer and self-assessment. Okay, peer and self-assessment empower the students to elevate their own work or that of the peers, promote metacognition as students critically analyze their performance and recognize areas for growth. Peer assessment, partner assessment, self-assessment. This is incredible. This is great when you are teaching the students that are shy, that are nervous for talking in public, but they feel comfortable with a friend. For example, you as a teacher, maybe you have had this situation. One student is smart, it's clever, but they are afraid to talk in public, to talk to you even. But with their friends, they are comfortable, they are confident, they expand their self. You can put together one student, one weak student with one strong student that are friends that have a great relationship, and they can speak as you can't imagine. Okay, this is great. And in addition, this is not graded. It's graded for you. You look them participating, you look them in a conversation, you watch them, and you can extract feedback for you, and even is ongoing. Concept mapping and graphic organizer. This is for the most grown teenagers, adults, students. Concept mapping visually represents the relationship between ideas, encouraging students to organize information coherently. These maps reveal the students' understanding of context, connection between concepts, and areas needing clarification. Okay, a mental map. It's a visual representation of the concepts that we give in class, right? But for some students, this could be a little bit boring, a little bit stressful, even stressful. So how we can turn this mental mapping into a funnier assessment? Let's make them to create a mental map about, for example, a topic they are interested, not far away from our main topic of the class. Okay, give them the opportunity to create their own mental map and create their own concept for the class. I have a great tool for this step over here, concept mapping. For example, Mentimeter. I use it for warm up activities. They can create a mental map, but more than a mental map, it's like a collaborative mental map for all the students. In the next steps, I'm going to show how I use Mentimeter. Let's continue. And the next one, exit tickets and reflection journals. Exit tickets consist of concise questions or prompts administered at the end of a lesson. Exit ticket is not a ticket, a real ticket that you give to a student that they are able to leave your class. No, 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 no. Exit ticket, it's like a prompt or a statement, a question that we gave to the student at the end, at the very end of our lesson. They provide a snapshot of the student's grasp of the key concepts and guide us educators in adapting subsequent instruction. If we are assessing the whole unit, the whole class, and the student gave a positive answer or even negative answer, we are ready with these exit tickets, with these questions. We are ready for preparing our next lesson based on what we have taken for feedback of our students. Reflection journals encourage metacognition, allowing students to track their own progress, articulate insights, and reflect on their learning journey over the time. If they create their own journals, they write in a little notebook and they take notes about what they have inquired, what they have acknowledged in the class. It's great. It's great. It's not the same copying from the blackboard, the same as the teacher said or the teacher write down in the blackboard. It's not the same as giving or creating the my own concepts. Okay, let's continue. For summative assessment, before going for summative assessment, wait a minute, I need to take some water, please. Wait me a minute. Okay, I'm back. Okay, before entering to summative assessment, the summative assessment comes in after completing a content area to gauge students' understanding. If after we have given the unit, if after we have taught the whole class, okay? The summative. Let's continue. What we can use for a summative assessment, we can use rubrics. Rubrics helps us to set a standard for how your class should perform on a test or an assignment. If we use rubrics in our class, the students are able to read, are able to know how they should perform in the class, in that activity. The rubrics you know that are for example, give me a quick rubric. Perfect, it did great, it have a lot of vocabulary, it have a reading comprehension, 5 points. Next one, 4 points. It have a lack of vocabulary, they don't use grammatical forms, and jump to 3, and so on. The student should aim to that goal to get the highest grade. Okay, they outline test length, sorry, how in depth it will be, and what you require of them to achieve the highest possible grades. As I mentioned, rubrics is a tool instead for us a teacher, is for the students. The students should aim, should focus on getting the highest grade. What else? Design clear and effective questions. When we are designing tests, do your best to use the language, phrases, and examples similar to those used during the lessons. As I mentioned in the previous example, if we thought, sorry, about present simple, we cannot assess, we cannot take a summative assessment about present perfect. Okay, if and the way that we have thought, if we gave to the students an exercise, a task in this way, we cannot. We have to write and to elaborate an assessment with the same method, with the same similarities as the previous task. Okay, this will help us to keep your test aligned with the material you've covered. This is very, very important. This is the best tip that I should give you when you are assessing. Take exams, take lessons, assess your students the way that you have taught them. Okay, next one. Try blind grading. This is kind of powerful if you take in consideration, because most of the teachers, as it says, prefer knowing whose test they are grading. We are prejudgmental. Okay, we are, for example, oh, this student, Brosel, this is one of my favorite students, this is the best student, and we are grading like we know the name of this student, we are like pretty judgmental with the student. Okay, we are unbiased in this kind of situation. Try blind gating. They can write their names, they can write their last name at the back of the test, at the end of the sheet. They should write it on, or even they they shouldn't write their names. You can assess, you can take the grade, the the test, and you can ask later for the names. It's kind of funny, and they are unbiased, as Harry says. But sorry, if you want to provide a wholly unbiased grade and feedback, try blind grading. As I said, you can request your students to write their names at the bottom or at the last test page, or even in the back. Assess comprehensiveness. Okay, for summative assessment, make sure the broad, overarching connection You are hoping students can make and are reasonable and fluid. Okay, we are going to assess comprehensiveness. If the teaching process is not clear, is not effective, is not clear, as I already said, we cannot assess what we haven't taught. We cannot assess something that is unclear, something that is blurred. Okay. For example, if the test covers measurement, geometry, and spatial sense, you should avoid including questions about patterning and algebra. As I mentioned before, if you are teaching about water, you cannot give an assessment about fire. Okay, let's continue. Uh, Greetings, Pierina Alvarado. Thanks for the information. Okay, hi. Let's continue. Strategies for summative assessment. Create a final test after and not before the teaching lesson. We as a teacher are forced to have all the lesson plans for all the term, for all the units that we are going to cover, even before we have taught them. What's that? Create a final test. Okay, or we must create the final test of the unit of the term, but we haven't entered to the class. We haven't met our student. Okay, so don't put the horse before the carriage. This is great. Plan Plans can change, and a student's learning can demand different emphasis. Sorry, from year to year. If you have a test online, perfect, but expect to embrace and make some changes from time to time. Test and the correct assessments are not meant to be like a rod. They are meant to move, they are meant to change, like us as a teacher. If we prepare the test, if we prepare the final exams, we can notice along the classes that we have not covered some topics, some themes, then our final exam it's invalid. It's not good for our students. Okay. Uh, Let me know if this information is great. Your comments are really, really appreciated by me. You can write in the chat here below and say hi if you are tuned in. Let's continue. What are some types of summative assessment that we have I talked before? Unit test, unit like at the end. Summative assessment is at the end. Okay, writing assessments such as paper and aesthetic assessment like projects, portfolios, it's okay, or creative works. Midterm exams like the first, second, third term exams that we take at the end of the units, at the end of the term. Final exams and performance that the student can do in order to have their grades and the feedback. Don't forget, assessment is not only for grades, it's for giving feedbacks for the students and for us, the teachers. Let's continue. Let's jump to the interesting part. Let's let behind the information that comes as that boring part, and let's jump into the what we have come here for the first instance. Digital apps for formative assessment or even for summative assessment. It depends on what you are looking for, what are your aims. Okay, wait a minute, I need to drink some water. My throat is so thirsty. Wait a minute, please. Oh my god, I'm back. Let's jump into it. There are a lot of digital apps available that cater for formative assessment or even summative assessment needs in education. These apps offer features such as real-time feedback. These are incredible, interactive quizzes, and progress tracking. Here are some popular ones. These are the ones that I am used to use for my classes, and I have heard about them from my colleagues. Rodas Alvarez Nati, good explanation. Thank you. Hello. Okay, for example, we have Kahoot. Who haven't heard about Kahoot? Kahoot is the the arroz con pollo in all the English classes. Quizzes. We have Socrates. Socrates is excellent for summative assessment, for example. Padlet. We have formative. We have Nearpod. Okay, let's continue. Uy, it's really short. We have a key. We have here. Sorry, we have my cables are are, are crossed. We have here some digital apps for assessment. There are a lot. There are not only Kahoot and quizzes, and that's it. And Nearpod, that's all. No, no, no. Teacher, we have a lot. Kahoot, we have some features, interactive quizzes, we have real-time quizzes, we have surveys, and we even have discussions. It's not for multiple choice questions. Benefits, we can engage our students for competitive formats. As you know, Kahoot is for like competition. If you get a negative question, if you are wrong in a question, you are lowering down in the scale. Okay, quizzes is like Kahoot. It's gamified quizzes. It have like a competition a stereotype and so on. We can customize. Um, we can have some detailed reports for this one. For quizzes, we have reports. This is great for us as teacher. It facilitates us the grading process. Socrates is incredible. I use Socrates for example, summative assessment. It gave us multiple question types. It gave us instant feedback and real-time visualization for the responses. In the next minutes, I'm going to give you like a brief um, explanation, like a brief example of how I use Socrates, how I use all these applications, most of them. Nearpod, interactive lesson, quizzes, and games. It helps us to gamify our lessons, our topics, our quizzes and assessment. Next one, Plicker. It's a paper-based response system. We can use cards and a mobile application for real-time data. Nowadays, in our classes, we are implementing our smart cell phones or even tablets or interactive blackboards, and you can notice. So these are really helpful tools for us as the teachers. Let me give a parenthesis over here, please. We as teachers know that our students have different levels of understanding. For example, as I have mentioned before, maybe one student, it could be the best in reading comprehension, but they are the weakest in listening. And in the other hand, we have some students that are, oh my God, the best, the Rosel Villao in speaking, but they are also the Luis Enrique, for example, the worst in writing. Okay, they have different levels, and this application can help us, can facilitate, can easy us the way that we teach to them. If a student have some trouble for grammar, for example, or for speaking, we can use the next application, Flipgrid. I use Flipgrid for video responses, for video-based discussion. The students can record they themselves speaking, answering the question that you gave to them. This is a really good way for practicing speaking. Okay, for example, my student has some troubles in speaking, is nervous, is shy. Maybe he or she can record herself in her or his home and feel comfortable to talking to a camera instead of the whole class. Let's continue. Mentimeter. I use it for live polls, quizzes, interactive presentation. It's a very huge tool. What else do we have for assessment? We have Google Forms, Quizlet, ExamSoft, Moodle, Crowdmark, Educalistic, Blackboard Learns, GradeCamp, a lot of features that we have over here. Oh my God, teachers, it's not only Kahoot and quizzes, and that's it. It's not only a puzzle and Nearpod. No, no, no. We have a lot of interactive application that we can use in our classes for all the levels. Oh, Luis Enrique, I am teaching to second grade. I am teaching fourth grade. And on the other hand, I'm teaching for third baccalaureate. We can use, we can adapt. We are teacher, we are able to adapt any tool that we have for any level that we thought. Let's continue. These are the digital applications that I brought to you in this session. We have the first one, Socrates. I'm going to show you, and please share this link and tell other people to join us. These are very interesting applications that we can use not only for teaching, even we can use it if we have a university presentation, a lecture that we are sharing with some colleagues. We can make them more interesting. Remember, we are assessing our students. We need to have and provide feedback to them and for us. Let's jump into Socrates. I'm going to share my screen due to I have this one over here, Socrates, my whole screen, StreamYard. Let's jump into Socrates. Okay, here we have Socrates. This is I use it for assessment in my classes. It's paid, but the free version it's really helpful if you are not into that kind of methodology. Here we have the rooms for Socrates. When you log in or you sign in with your Google account or your personal account, email account, they give you the opportunity to create your own room. It's like your classroom or your locker for the lesson, for the quizzes, for the tests that you are giving here. Okay, in your room, you give your name and you can share them with a QR code with your students. Okay, this is a very technological application. Okay, once you have created your room, you are going to be redirected to this part, the launch part. We have a quiz, we have a space race, exit ticket, multiple choice, true or false, short answers, statement over here. We can choose anything of them, and they are the way that we are giving the students the assessment. Let's go for a quiz. That is the one that oh my god, I have already launched an activity. Okay, for my previous test. Let's go through it. I have prepared this too before. Let's jump into this. It have 15 minutes ago. That's why I prepared this for this webinar. Let's jump into this. When we have click on that quiz that we have over here, we have these settings. Require names. Yes, of course we are going to require names that of our students. Shuffle questions. Maybe we can shuffle the question that we have made before. Shuffle the answer. It's not so good. Show final scores, and then show question feedback. This is awesome because the students don't have to wait, are not able to wait until the end of the quiz to have the correct answer. If they get wrong in some questions, they are going to get the correct feedback in the real-time situation. I'm gonna launch it, and the activity is already done. Here we have the teacher panel over here. The activity is ongoing. It's online right now. We can pause, we can finish the activity, or we can invite our students. If you want, right now, if you want, I'm going to share you the QR code. You are going to join my class right now. I'm going to go for it right now with my cell phone and try to give you like a real life testing, for example. Okay, let's go for it. Let me wait a minute. I'm using my cell phone right now. Let's go. Oh my god, it's not working. Okay, I have some trouble, but let's suppose that we have some students there that are joining us. Here are the questions that I have prepared before. Okay, this is the question number one. What matched the meaning with the correct phrasal verb? Feel better or recover from something difficult. What is it? A breakout, get over, get along, cheat on. And here I can show the results for the correct answer. Okay, if one student answer correctly, it's going to appear over here in the first question if it is correct or if it is wrong. I'm going to put you the QR code if you want to enter, if you are able to enter here. I I would really appreciate it. Okay, have some troubles, but let's continue. Once you have all of this part over here, you are able to finish the activity. For example, finish, and you will have the you can show the names of the students, you can show the responses, you can show the responses time, or even if they get the correct answers or the wrong ones. Okay, and so on. In rooms, we can add some. Let me wait a minute. Okay, in library, we can apply. We can upload or on quizzes. We can add quiz over here, a blank quiz, or import and even with an Excel sheet. Blank quiz is easy. We can select in even between among, sorry, multiple choice questions, true, false, or short answer. For example, title of the quiz, online dating. For example, let's choose a multiple choice. I can write, have you ever online, I don't know, being online? I can write over here, yes. The next one, no. It's an example, a quick example. Maybe, okay? I am able to select the correct sentence, the correct answer. It can be a multiple correct answer or only one, okay? And it's ready. Add question, we can put over here a picture to make it more interactive and so on, okay? On a dating, save and exit, and it's on our room. As you can notice over here in our room, we have the name, we can share the room, and here are the quizzes that we have over here. It's extremely like, if we are tired of using Kahoot or quizzes, we can use this application over here. Give ongoing and real-time feedback. We can share the screen with the students and they can look if they are losing, they are getting some wrong answers and so on. Okay, let me jump with the next application that I often use with my classes. Padlet. Padlet. For example, I use Padlet with an application with a task that I have did before with my students. It's for second science being baccalaureate, and this is the topic. Choose two questions from A and answer them in your own. I adapt this from our book, our classroom book, the student book, and turn it into a Padlet. Why? Because I want them to write their answers, to share with the class, with the whole class, without pressuring them to speak in public. Okay, for example, one student is shy, they don't want to speak, but they are really good in writing. They can go over there to a blank space, double click, write a name, and explain themselves. I love teaching English, and so on. They can publish this in the whole board over here. Everyone can see it, and everyone can even go and say like to the answer. Okay, this is an easy. I use it for like when I want to assess writing in this part. I have also my rubric in the other part, but I can assess writing in this way, or even vocabulary usage, grammar comprehension, grammar usage, and so on. The next application that I have brought to you is Edpuzzle. It's awesome. It's awesome if we want to assess the listening part. Edpuzzle, we can share here some videos for the students. Here we have the marks. The marks is for, we can place then questions. We can play the video if it, and when they get to the mark, a question will appear. For example, what do people do at a speed dating event? They drink, eat, and have fun. They get acquainted and speak to new people. They laugh and make jokes. Jokes, sorry. There. So they have to watch the video. They must listen to it and acquire the information, acknowledge the information in order to answer these questions. When they have answered, Ed Puzzle give me the feedback, the responses, percent of the answers. Okay, this is how I can assess the listening comprehension. The next one, I use it for like warm up situation. For example, I prepared this for this webinar as an example. Real life situation, warm up. Describe in 3 words your first date. Okay, student, please. I'm going to share you the link over here. Copy the link invitation and describe in 3 words your first date. Okay, let me stop sharing this so I can give you the student's view, the student's point of view. Okay, I'm going to share, for example, the link, and let's continue. Wait a minute, I'm going to sharing my computer screen over here. Excellent. This is my student, the student point of view. Okay, this is the student point of view. Describe in 3 words your first day. Okay, in 3 words. Ali, bad. I don't know. Great. No. Awesome. And I don't know. Spicy. And submit it. Once they have submitted the answer, the presenter hasn't changed a slide yet. So we as a teacher can show them in our classroom, in the screen, we can show them, let's wait a minute, this part over here, the real life, in real time, the real-time responses that they give to us. Let me share this one. Okay. For example, awesome, disaster, lovely, bad, great, spicy. They give our real-time feedback over here. Again, if they are shy, if they are nervous, they don't like to talk in public, they don't like to give speeches in public and with their friends, we can use this to take an answer from them in private mode, for example, and they gave to us responses. And the last one that I brought to you is Flipgrid. Flipgrid is awesome. I assess speaking with Flipgrid. Let me know if you can hear the video, if you are familiar with this one. For example, I give over here in the left part, create a group or join a group. I can create a group. This is my group. Test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I prepared this for the webinar, and let me explain this. Here we have like a topic. The students can join into the class and can join the topic over here. We can share them with this part over here. Share things, share topic. We can copy them. If I want to the students only get access to that topic. As you can notice, I have several topics over here. Let me share the first one. Okay, I opened the first topic, the first theme, and I have 2 responses over him. Let's talk about it. The topic, the assess that I gave to my student, it was introduce yourself with the class. Perfect. Introduce yourself, talk about yourself, your hobbies, how old are you, your time. Students can go over here, record. In record, they have this screen over here, or they can go back. Okay, they can record their answers, and we as a teacher are able to watch that recording. For example, Luis B, this was my attempt and my example for this class. Let's suppose that I am a student, I am the teacher looking for this student. Okay, let's check. Excellent. I can give a comment. Great. You did very well. And so on. Enviar, send, sorry. And here we have visualizations and comments. Okay. That's how I assess the the speaking part. If the students are shy, if the student is nervous. Here I am speaking from my personal experience. I'm speaking from what I have learned in my experience. Most of my students were very, very shy, were nervous a lot, so they don't want to talk in class. They feel uncomfortable, they feel shy, they feel unempowered. But with this application, with these apps on online technology, we can enhance the learning, we can enhance the EFL learning and make them acknowledge this information that we are trying to teach them. Okay, in conclusion, we are reaching the end of the webinar. I really hope that you appreciate, that you enjoyed this, and let's conclude this. Exploring innovative application for assessment in English as foreign language, the EFL, in the classes opens up exciting opportunities to enhance the learning. Okay, remember, assessment is not only make an exam, take a test, give an evaluation, create a rubric, and that's all. Assessment is for the students, and most of that is for us as teacher. Okay, the student get feedback. Yes, they get a 10, a 9, an 8, but we as teacher, we get the most important feedback. We are able to know if we are teaching in the correct way, if we are giving the correct tools to our students. Maybe one student love English, maybe one student, I don't know, love math, science, history, but we as teacher don't give them the tools that they need to reach their goal for speaking, for listening, for researching, and so on. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much to all of you. Thank you to all the people that joined me into this webinar. Thank you for all the people that comment in the chat box. And I am looking forward to see you on the next time, on the next webinar. Thank you so much and see you soon. Bye bye. I'm going to read the comments below. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to take a snapshot. Wait a minute, please.